Today we're going to speak about gangs. I try to keep it brief, to the point, and you know, just clarify some things. I read some comments on this site that was very biased and very racist. So what I like to do is be unbiased and not be racist. And what I want to say next is, gangs, period, is nothing to brag about because they're negative. They kill people, they rob people, either from gunpoint or on paper, no matter what gang you're in. There's some illegal activity going on, and someone's getting hurt one way or another. First one we're going to talk about is the super gang called the Mexican Mafia, which runs the southern area in California as far as prison is concerned. This gang is a prison gang. They're not a street gang. They have counterparts that pay homage to them and do their works on the street, such as gangs like 18th Street, Mexican gangs, and other gangs that's out there in Los Angeles. These guys are powerful. They still get money from the street. These guys can be serving a life sentence with no term and still, taking care of their kids on the outside, putting them through college, stuff like that. But again, they're gangsters. It's a gang. People dying from their activity. Lives are being destroyed from their activity. It's nothing more than a guy coming up and sticking you up and shooting you and taking $2 from you. It's the same thing, but it's just more of these people. And when you have more of them doing the same thing in unison, they consider it a gang. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to the Russian Mafia. The Russian Mafia is a result of a broken country, a poor country. Russia is on its heels right now. The Russian Mafia deal drugs, they deal arms. They're predominantly located in New York and some in Los Angeles. I've even heard of them being in Chicago. Again, this gang is just like any other gang, ruthless. They kill, they transport. They're more or less drug transporter. They transport drugs. They're not drug dealers on the street corners. But they're just the same. They kill just the same. They might not kill as much, but they kill just the same. If something go wrong with their business, somebody's gonna pay for it. Next, we're going to the Italian Mafia, which is probably in its heyday. It was the most complete. This is a gang that does not deal drugs. This is a gang that at one point, before technology, and at a time where America was in a depression, the Italian Mafia flourished. People needed money. Cops, judges, people, powers to be, and the Mafia was able to make friends with money that they made illegally a lot of time in the Depression era when nobody had money. They were called bootleggers. They also were called pimps because this is certain some of the things that they were involved in. They also still do money laundering and gambling. They also had a hand in unions. These guys dealt with everything except for narcotics. And at one point they dealt with narcotics, but their guys began snitching because the time that narcotics carry when you get caught with it. So their rule changed from you can do it to you can't do it because they're afraid of some of their soldiers, getting arrested and bringing down the whole organization because of being afraid of doing heavy time. Next, we're going to talk about some of the worst murderers in the last 30 years, and that's the Crip and Blood gang. And this is coming from an unbiased standpoint. This is a statistic that can't even show how many thousands of people died because of their activity. It's a simple fact that this gang is much more terrible than the other ones I mentioned. The Mexican Mafia, even worse than them because, these guys didn't kill like Crips and Bloods killed. Nowadays, a lot of the Mexican gangs in Los Angeles has caught on to that trend that the black gangs had back in the 80s and 90s. And now they're outnumbering the black gangs, and they're very much involved in, mass murdering. This gang here has petty hustlers to big-time drug lords. Guys like Michael Harrio, who funded Death Row Records. This man was making at least, the government estimated, $11 million a month on narcotics. At the same time, he was destroying his neighborhood just like all the other gangs in Los Angeles did with the crack epidemic. These guys here get a rise out of killing. And it's a gang that is being squandered away from the numbering Chicano gangs in Los Angeles. From an unbiased standpoint, I would like to say that, in a way, it's a good thing that this gang is going down to a low because they've killed a lot of people in the past, and I hate to see one gang devour another gang. I hate to see any gang out there. But if one gang is devouring another gang that's worse to society, then hey, there's nothing I can do about that anyway. And the Mexican street gangs are pushing out the Crip and Blood gangs because they have so many numbers. As far as like money, like I said, all these gangs I just mentioned, they all have money. The Russian Mafia make money from drugs. The Mexican Mafia, the Italians do their thing. And like I said, the Crips and Bloods do their thing. What this thing boils down to in the end is that, all of these people are the same. They're all killers. Just like a guy that's working alone. If he comes up to you and he puts a knife to your back, he can't even afford a gun. And he stabs you in the back, and then you fall to your knees and he cuts your neck open and you die. That's just the same as 15 people coming up to you and shooting you to death. You still die. All of these guys are just a group of thugs that form together to create a gang. And it's a terrible thing. And I just want to say that for all the people that's up here debating about what gang is worse than the other, they're all the same. They all can kill you. If you run into any of these guys and steer them the wrong way, guess what? Any of these guys will do you in. And all these guys and all these organizations have money. So money and power to kill is something that all of these guys possess. So the debate about that, really is a silly one. But the funny thing is that people are debating on whose gang is worse because they come from this race that this gang is in. And they want to be able to walk around with pride like someone is going to be afraid of them because they come from that race. Everyone comes from a race where we have criminals in that race. No matter what race you come from, even if your race is not abundant, there are still some criminals in your race. There's good and bad in every race. But I'm gonna cap this off by saying I hope that this clarifies some things for certain people, and I hope this kind of kills a debate about something this silly. And really, we should be talking about something more positive. If any of you, can tell me, give me advice on how to make money, in a legal way. How to make $1 million more, $1 million. Hey, I'm for that. Post that up. But let us stop, going to these blogs about these gangs and putting racist comments or saying this gang is better than that gang. Let's go to them and learn from them. That's it. A lot of these gangs that's on these blogs I've been around, and in fact I've been around some of different races. They're all the same. But I'm gonna leave you guys with that, and feel free to post us some comments. Hopefully there'll be some that's unbiased and also really from your heart. but we can deal with, we can leave comments like adults and converse with this thing over this website. Thank you for your time.